traffic, crazy snaking traffic. As far as the eyes can see, and as you can see behind me, this is the Adenta Dodowa Road. It used to be pretty easy to drive on in the morning and in the evening, but it has become a hot spot for traffic and a great border for those who live on this stretch. There are sprawling communities coming up on this stretch. This all the way to Oyibi, you have Ashiye, and then you also have places on this stretch with upscale middle-class residential areas, which has become pretty attractive for the middle class. The reason why in the last 2 years, this road is possibly one of the most traffic-prone areas in the Greater Accra region. What people have to do in the morning is wake up as early as 3 and 4 a.m. and avoid the main road, because if you stay on the main road, it's going to take you more than 3 hours to make a stretch that would ordinarily take you 20 minutes to travel. So what they do is find alternative routes. Now, this is one of the alternative routes that those who live on this stretch, who have to, on the daily basis, deal with the crazy traffic, have resorted to. These routes, as you can see in the background, is terrible in its own nature. It's not asphalted at all. It has gullies in it. It has craters in it. But people have to bear with that. That is the only way you can dodge the traffic. And it snakes by itself through the meandering communities in the connecting routes that join the main road. And so many have had to resort to this, as you see in the background, risking their own cars, their own health, and of course, having to pump a lot of money in repairing vehicles. For those who live in this particular community and on the stretch from Adenta all the way to Oyibi and Dodowa and beyond, it has become a living hell. But this is one of the roads that was touted a few years back as one that has been approved under the Sinohydro deal. It was supposed to have started years ago, but it hasn't started. The promise to get this road fixed and dualized, which was approved by Parliament as part of the first lot of the Sinohydro deal, hasn't materialized. And many of the residents in this area and in this community on the stretch are still hopeful that it will happen, that the politicians will keep their promise. How bad is the traffic?
It's very bad. Every day, every time in the day, it's bad.
So what do you do? I mean, I see that you've been trying to dodge it.
Okay, so I live at the Regimental Estate, so I have to go round and round, and the road at the back is so bad. So it's very difficult.
How early do you have to wake up just to dodge the traffic and get into town?
4 o'clock.
4 o'clock?
Children ready by 7 so that we can leave home. If they are not able to dualize this road, at least the connecting roads, they should construct them. It would help. Actually, it's bad during the day, at certain times in the day, even on weekends. Yeah, it's bad. It's so bad. They need to help us.
In 2018, the Adenta Dodowa Road was one of 10 lots approved under the Chinese-sponsored Sinohydro deal. It was scheduled to begin in 2019. 2 years on, the road remains undone, in a complete state of disrepair, and with traffic congestion worse than anything you have ever experienced anywhere, all day, every day. The $2 billion Sinohydro deal was touted as the unprecedented arrangement to fix Ghana's infrastructural needs and modernize our roads.
Roads are a major issue for Ghana. Everywhere you go, it's roads and roads and roads. But when we were in opposition, the government at the time was telling us they've done all the roads. They showed us the roads in the Green Book. But when we came into office, the roads are not there. And so we had to find a new way. And the Sinohydro agreement is one way we are going to find to make sure our roads are done all across Ghana.
Well, fair to say, the Sinohydro dream has not materialized in its full glory as Dr. Bawumia had envisioned. This was his big dream. He had traveled to China to seal the deal in 2017, a barter arrangement that will see the Chinese spend $2 billion to fix Ghana's infrastructure. In return, Ghana will pay back with proceeds from refined bauxite.
Evans, interestingly, honestly, I think is dead.
Keso Atofosing is ranking member on the Finance Committee in Parliament.
I think it's dead for a simple reason. We were made to believe that the government is bringing in a special structure which is going to solve our infrastructure problems. It is certainly not going to be a loan, but a barter system. And we will see an investment in excess of $3 billion US dollars over a period of time. Parliament approved an agreement for them to bring in the first tranche of about $500 million US dollars. But as we speak, under 25 million Ghana cedis has been drawn down. So that's, for me, after so many years, I can conclude that the Sinohydro agreement is dead.
On 21st November 2018, Information Minister Kojo Oppong-Nkrumah announced that the first tranche of $649 million from the $2 billion facility has been made available to Ghana to access. 3 years on, only about $80 million of this amount have actually been released to Ghana. Dr. Mutaka Alolo is the Director of Special Projects and Investor Relations at the Office of the Vice President.
The way the Sinohydro is structured, you don't get the money all given to you. So it is given per how much projects you have done. So out of the 6 lots that have been approved, works are ongoing. So at every stage they raise IPCs. So the 6 lots that have been approved, about 300 and something million, that's what has been approved. That's what is ongoing. So the 300 million,
300 something million
USD, yeah. That all that money hasn't been given to government. So the work needs to be done. Our engineers here will certify that this work has been done. Then they draw down the money. They pay, the banks pay the money. That is only then that it becomes a liability on us. So we have this, so far I think we've drawn down about almost close to 80 million, but
$80 million.
$80 million.
To put this in context, the Sinohydro deal is a $2 billion facility, out of which $649 million was made available in the first tranche for Ghana to access. So to have accessed only $80 million in 3 years raises red flags. As it turns out, the Chinese will only actually release the funds to Ghana when we show evidence of actual work done in executing the projects. Dr. Alolo again.
The bank will not just give you the money. If they give it to you, you can go and do anything else with it without.
So they want to see evidence of you actually started the project first?
Exactly.
Before they release the money?
Before
you can access?
Because before you can take the money.
Before you can draw down?
The money has been released for a specific project. So they want to see evidence that the work has been done before they pay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Clearly, Ghana has not done enough work to warrant the Chinese release of more Sinohydro funds. Out of the 10 projects approved by Parliament, none is yet to be fully complete. 6 have started and are at various stages of completion. 4 others, including the Adenta Dodowa Dual Carriageway, which was scheduled to start in 2019, have not started at all since Parliament, by a resolution dated 28th July 2018, approved the Master Project Support Agreement. If you live on the Adenta Dodowa Road, Dr. Alolo says expect the project to start hopefully next year.
You know, as you are aware, last year was very slow. COVID literally slowed everything. China literally closed down for almost a year. So things were quite slow. So our side, what government is doing with this bauxite is government doesn't want to be in the future be burdened with the repayment of this. So as we are developing the whole integrated aluminium industry, then we make sure that the money we are drawing down for this project is in sync with that. When the repayments are due, we have enough funds to be able to assess that. So COVID kind of had an impact on the whole integrated aluminium side, and also the slowness in China as well in terms of their economic activity. So we had to kind of adjust. So those 4 laws that are yet to start, that the Adenta Dodowa is part of it. So that's hopefully we will get it going by maybe, I'm not sure, towards next year or something, we'll get it started.
Unlike the Adenta Dodowa Road, the Tamale interchange, also financed under the Sinohydro arrangement, is well and truly on its way to completion. But even here, there has been delays.
In Tamale interchange, in fact, Tamale interchange should have really been completed by now, but there was a bit of hindrance with right of way where Zenith Bank building was in the middle. So it took us a long time to get that resolved. That has been done now, so it is ongoing, and hopefully by the end of the year that will be completed.
Okay. My colleague Batina Bugri, as part of this Total Recall episode, has been to the interchange site to see for herself progress of work. She spoke to Hassan Ibn Abdallah, who is a safety officer in charge of the project.
Oh, I can boldly tell you it's about 90% completely done. I think this is how it's getting so far.
And what is left?
Approximately, let's say 10%, because we are expecting by December this month and this year, we should have the bridge joined together. We are expecting maybe somewhere June, July. The other supplements will also get completed.
Across the country, 5 other Sinohydro projects are also at various stages of completion. Atoforcing rejects the excuse that the completion of these projects and the accessing of the remainder of the Sinohydro funds have delayed largely because of the COVID-19 pandemic.
I do not believe that the pandemic is the cause of the money not coming. In front was a global honestly, clearly, the structure, as I said, there was a defect from the beginning. The banks and the companies that is going to lend you money, Evans, they are not stupid. They know your economy, sometimes even better than you know. They have analysts analyzing you from morning to evening. That's all what they do, and they have been paid to sit and analyze you. Every step you take, whatever you do, they put it in their analysis in terms of their simulation to find out whether you can repay their debt or not. They know that as we speak, you are not mining bauxite. They know that as you speak, you do not even have someone sign concession with to do the mining for you. They know that you don't have a structure to obviously go out there to set up a smelter and to change the bauxite to an alumina. It's not in place. Even the power to do that is a challenge for you. They know for sure that if you are going to do this, it will take you more than 5 to 10 years to achieve that, looking at the slow pace of the way we do our things here. And so you think they are that crazy for them to obviously lend you money knowing very well that you can pay? No. No, they will not do that.
That is not true, because what I said was there's already an existing mine which we have stake in at Awaso. So that is also one source of revenue that we have restructured for proceeds of that to be kept for this repayment. The others will come and make up with the numbers, but that can start off with us, because when the loan, in fact, the first repayment to crystallize will be Tamale interchange, and that would not be that much. And as of the time this year, definitely the other angles of the project will all start. So we structured this in the sense that we will not really be overburdened when the repayment is due. That is actually also why all the projects have not started at the same time. So by the time Tamale interchange will start, we would have had enough in the escrow to be able to repay this.
From Awaso?
From Awaso. And from the other mines that may start. It doesn't take years to get a mine started, a mine to start to operate. The mining will start.
But Awaso, as we speak, the only element of the three that you described that Awaso satisfies is mining.
Is mining.
You still haven't set up refining
yes.
and smelting.
Yes, that is true. But we already have.
So it comes back to the question I asked.
We already
that you have
smelter.
2 years to do refining, smelting that we haven't begun.
Yeah, we already have a smelter. A smelter has to be retrofitted.
Yes.
And plans are far advanced on that aspect as well. I'm just even talking about Awasu with the mining. We have Awasu mining, and there are plans to also do refinery there. That hasn't started. But the mine, you see, this thing was structured in such a way that proceeds from the mine, proceeds from the refinery, and proceeds from the smelter will all be put together, and part will be used to refinance this. So once the mine is operational, there will be proceeds coming from there that will be used to service the repayments, whilst the others will come on stream.
Okay. A key block of the Sinohydro deal was the establishment of an integrated aluminium industry in Ghana that will refine Ghana's bauxite, make money, and use the proceeds to pay off the Chinese. The Ghana Integrated Aluminium Development Corporation was set up to lead this. The corporation has just announced the selection of its strategic partner, Rockshore International, to execute the agenda. Without a fully functioning integrated aluminium industry that can mine, refine, and smelt our resources, Ghana will struggle to pay off the Sinohydro facility, which was designed not as a loan but as a barter arrangement. In fact, we have so far spent $90 million on the Tamale interchange. The repayment of that facility is almost due. After forcing claims, government has put in place a guarantee to take up the debt if revenues from refined bauxite does not become available.
But let me say, subsequently in the last few days when we had Ghana had the Article 4 mission, we met with IMF again, and the mission chief said categorically that the IMF program, the IMF has recognized the Sinohydro drawdown as a loan because government of Ghana has signed an implicit guarantee with Sinohydro.
Okay.
So what it means is that the current 25 million, when it's time for us to pay, government of Ghana is the one that's going to pay, and we are going to pay this from public fund. We are paying it from the traditional structures that we use to repay loans.
Have you given a guarantee to the Chinese in case you are unable to use bauxite, refined bauxite, to pay?
But this obviously is clear. When we structured this, we structured it on the back of the bauxite. But of course, it is government standing in for this. So if you are not able to pay, government will have to step in. But we can't default, and we will not default.
Yes.
Before the first repayment, there will definitely be proceeds from either the bauxite mining into the escrow for the repayment. But of course, in case that doesn't happen, government would have to step in.
And pay through traditional means.
But, well, when you say traditional means...
The way we've always paid other loans.
Yeah, well, it could be, but government didn't go to sleep on this. These processes are already ongoing. The integrated aluminium thing is going to happen.
Well, for residents on the Adenta Dodowa Road, they cannot wait any longer. If it's going to happen, then it must happen now.
It's really, really bad. I mean, we wake up early, but yet still we get to school very late. And the kids get tired. You have to wake them up very early. I think I wish they could dualize the road like what they've done with the Ebru road. That's the only solution to our problem.